Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny, maker and owner of Frizz Drip. Today I will be making Buddy Buttercream. Okay, let's jump right into it. So we're gonna start with our phase A, which is the water phase, and um, I will be using water and vegetable glycerin. Okay. The next thing that goes in is the vegetable glycerin. There we go. So, I will start heating up my water phase because, like anyone knows, water does heat up slower than oils, than melting oils. So I always like to make sure I start heating up my waters first, or my water phase first. However, before I heat it up, I want to see what the total weight of my water phase is, including my pitcher, because what's going to happen is after the water is heated up, I'm going to weigh it again to see how much water or how much evaporation has happened, and I will top that up with water to make sure it is right back at where we started. And I will note the number on the scale. Okay, I have noted what the scale tells me is the total weight of my content, including my picture. And right here, I do have my hot plate. I will put this on, and I will start to heat up my water. Okay, next I'm gonna start weighing out my phase B, which is my oil phase. And I'm hoping to use this picture. I'm hoping it is not too small. But let's see how it goes. If it's too small, I'll you know rethink this strategy. Okay, so my first ingredient is shea butter. So I'm going to weigh out my shea butter, and next is my liquid oil. You can use whatever liquid oil you'd like. I am using apricot kernel oil. Next, I am going in with emulsifying wax. Next, I am going in with cetyl alcohol. So normally when I weigh these things out, I would normally put the um, cetyl alcohol and the e-wax at the bottom first, so that when it starts melting, it melts from the bottom up. For some reason this time I inverted it, but that's fine. Everything's still gonna melt. Everything's gonna still be okay. So finally, the last thing I'm going to put in my oil phase is DM350. Okay, this picture is super full. My only fear is when it gets all melted and warm, um, it will be kind of tricky to handle. So I am placing it on my hot plate, and I'll let them all melt, and then we'll get back and continue um, with the rest of the mixing. So everything has heated up, the oils have melted. As you can see, I had to split this into a smaller pitcher because like I thought it became too full. um, okay, so I have to weigh my water phase because evaporation has happened, and I have to replenish what has been lost. So I have lost 5 grams of water. So what I'm gonna do is I will replenish, and this is just how I do it. If you can see me, I just put it in the cap. This is how I do it. So um, I make sure not to exceed how much water I just need. Okay, so some more evaporation will happen, and I will weigh the entire batch before I start blending, and then by the time it's cooled, I will check again, and you see me do this for evaporation and replenish with more H2O, just to make sure everything is balanced. Okay, so in here again, the water and the glycerin. Okay, everything is looking good. I'll put this to the side for a second because I'm going to need it again. So I will bring this pitcher in here, and I'm going to pour my water and glycerin in first. And then I'll pour the oils. So I am doing honestly, some people start blending before they start pouring, and create a vortex, and I mean, it's fine. Honestly, it's not that serious. I guess it can be, but this is just the way I do mine. So okay, the first thing before I start, I want to see how much this is because I know some evaporation will still happen. Okay. You want to keep the shaft of the blender right at the bottom because you do not want to incorporate air the um into the mixture. When the temperature of this gets down to 122 degrees or below, that's when I add my preservative and fragrance. So right now, we are at 113.9, 114. So before I add my preservative, I will weigh my batch again to see how much evaporation has happened. Because of course, as I was blending and mixing and stick blending and hand mixing, I could see evaporation happening. So I do know that I have lost some water uh, uh, content from this. So I am going to weigh my batch and see how much water I have lost, and I will replenish that. This is before I go ahead and add my preservative and fragrance, because of course they weren't there when I was doing all this. So let's go ahead and measure this and weigh this. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead. I have lost some water through evaporation, so I will replenish. Okay, now that that's been replenished, I will blend the water in, and then I will add my fragrance and preservative. Okay, so that's good for now. I will still blend it some more after I have added my fragrance oil and my preservative, and we will be just good to go. So I do use liquid Germo Plus. I am adding my fragrance, and I am using Champagne Pear by Nature's Garden. Okay, so we are in the final laps of blending, and I will blend this in, and naturally when this is around the temperature of 120 or below, it'll be okay to put them in the jar. Right now I know my temperature is already below 120, so I will get this mixed, and whenever I feel it's right, then I'll put them in the jar. However, when I jar them, I don't close them until they fully come down to room temperature. This is what the temperature is right now. It's 113 degrees, exactly 113. It's still liquidy, but as you can see, it's beginning to firm up. So I could go like that, and you can see what I'm talking about. It's beginning to firm up. So once I get the spatula out of the water and the cold air hits it, you see that it begins to firm up. This is the cream we're looking for. Now, what I like to do some of the time is I will let my mixture cool off a lot more, maybe down to like 100 degrees, 99 degrees. By the time it will be thicker, much thicker than this, and I pull out a whisk, and I would whip this with a whisk To make it a little bit more fluffy, it all depends on what you're waiting for. So if I want my cream to be a little bit more fluffy, I would do that. Otherwise, um, you know, I can pour now. It's good to pour, but I just want to still stir it a little bit and mix it a little bit. I'll let it cool down to maybe 110, 105, and then I'll pour it in a jar. Mind you, it's easier to pour in the jar when it's a little bit more liquidy. I fill up 8-ounce jars. However, if you're looking to do a color, this is the time to add your color, the colorants. Heck, even earlier than this, you could have added your colorants. Um, However, if you want to do multiple colors, um, you could split this, do your colors. However, you have to wait. You have to wait for it to thicken up to that cream consistency, and before you can do your nice color swirl. As you can see, as the cold air hits the top, you can see that it's beginning to create a film of thick, creamy goodness. That's what the entire thing is going to end up looking like and being. So I just wanted to show you how thick this goes, at what temperature you should begin to see thickness like this. And I'm already scraping it, but if you look at the shaft of the um, immersion blender, you begin to see it forming that cream that we're looking for right there. This tells you your mixture has emulsified and it's holding its emulsion and whatnot. So yeah, just wanted to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I am just about ready to be done. One final thing I'd like to do is to check the pH. As you can see, this is getting thick. One thing you want to be careful about when you're blending your mixture is making sure you don't get clumps. Um, However, this is really smooth. So let's check the pH. I use a pH meter. You can use a pH strip and whatnot, but I use a pH meter. This I've already rinsed it out with distilled water. That's what you see in there. So a lot of people, thin this out with distilled water to get a pH. I just, put that in there. Enough to the fill line. And I'll turn on my meter and I'll stick it in there. And then I'll let it read. Let me know what my pH is. So the final pH, it's still going down. Right now it's at a 7.9. I think I am good with the pH as is. If your pH is too high, you want to reduce it by using I use a 20% citric acid solution. If this was much higher than this, I will reduce it with a citric acid solution, 20% citric acid solution, to bring the pH down to about a 7.0. So I am happy with what it's reading at right now. It's a 7.8 right now. So I think I am good. So this has thickened. She is thick. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is looking good and it is smelling yummy. Okay, you can see the temperature is 107.7. Like I said, it's good to jar them up when they get to at about 120 or below. Okay, so I make sure I weigh all my jars. Um, make sure I'm putting the right quantity in there. So we're gonna start jarring this up. These are 8-ounce jars, and I am weighing exactly 8 ounces. All right. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what kinds of content you'd like to see from me, and I'll make sure to work towards that. Please leave your comments in the um, comment section below. And thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.